really took a look at that. While I love doing these things, it wasn't my passion. And so in that moment, and that was a very difficult um, pill to swallow, should I say, because here I am, fourth year in my college career, and I'm like, I'm not going to graduate with an accounting degree.
Hello, and welcome to the Brand Big Podcast, where we highlight and platform female founders and the bold, innovative, and genuine stories behind their brands. I am your host, Jonatta Toshira, and today I have the honor and the privilege to have a very beautiful special guest with me who is one of my favorite clients. I say that about all my clients, but she is truly a favorite and a favorite brand that she has. She's the founder of LEAP. Living every day in our purpose. And her name is Mrs. Leasha Cherry. Let me tell you about her. Leasha Cherry is the founder and chief executive officer of LEAP, Living Every Day in Our Purpose. She has spent more than 15 years in human services, including 10 years working with youth and families in their communities, and 5 years as a school social worker in the public school system, passionate about advocating for students, especially those who are underserved or those who have been marginalized. Leasha served as a school social worker, Dignity for All Students coordinator, a restorative justice interventionist, and now an independent educational consultant. Leasha, welcome to the Brand Big Podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you. And that was an awesome introduction. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, amazing, amazing. So, Leasha, I have given our audience the more formal introduction. Will you tell us who Leasha Cherry is?
Yes, sure. So, again, my name is Leasha Cherry, um, and I am most recently an independent educational consultant. It's interesting because I got to tell you, when I graduated high school and planned to go to college, one of the things is I did not see in my future or have a plan to go to school for education or even being in consulting. And so most of my career, pretty much, I started working in family and children's services. So, working with helping families to be the best versions of themselves by providing educational support and career support, advocating for them, helping them to navigate access to service, all while helping to prevent homelessness, out of home placements, involvement in the criminal justice system, or further involvement in those situations. Later, I was able to continue my work at the macro level. And so I dabbled a little bit in everything. So I won't go into
That
crazy
is
detail.
amazing.
But initially, again, I started out in social work, which led me later on into the consulting business.
Amazing, amazing. And so, like you said, you've had a little bit of experience in different areas, different sectors, and it becoming a whole experience and now leading you to the path of being an independent educational consultant. That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Leasha, diving right into your extensive background in the field of education, right, and even being involved with youth and family services as a social worker, will you share with us more about your background in the industry, specifically of education, and how pivotal it was to lead you to where you are today?
Yep, absolutely. So in education, so I started out initially um, more so in micro social work or micro work, working with families. So working individually with families, assisting them in their homes, in their communities, but also in the school system. So did a lot of work with them in the schools. So not working for um, uh, the education system in particular, but working within not-for-profits, contracting and working for schools. And that was a great opportunity. I think that anybody who can work in the field of prevention and doing that kind of work can do anything. And so, but that really prepared me for my future. So with that, working one-to-one with families, later God allowed me the opportunity to move into the managerial position or the macro level of social work, wherein by that time, I still did a lot of prevention work, but it was more of at a macro level. So now managing the programs that were providing the services to the families and students. But at the same time, contracting with educational institutions to provide those services to students in the school. So being an additional support, helping those students be successful while they're in school as well. And so that was a great opportunity. Um, Fast forward now, moving into the field of social work, I started my role at my previous high school that I graduated from, as a school social worker, and there I provide mental health support, educational support, academic, career support to our students. And so I do believe like every single role, and it's interesting. Sometimes when we get new positions or take on different roles, we think of them as, sometimes significant or insignificant, but absolutely, every single opportunity that I've had, I believe, had a plan. Like God had a plan for it all. Everything led to where I am now. And so, fast forward, started working in social work, but now I'm into the realm of now transitioning to an independent educational consultant, wherein I can kind of do the things that I love and enjoy doing, still working with families and students, but now more targeted, helping them to prepare for college.
Going back to where you said you ended up working at the high school that you went to, right? That
Yes,
was a full circle moment.
that
Like
was.
God to bring you all the way back around from you being there. And so I want to talk a little bit about that because what was it like for you to um go through school, right? That's a part of your background as well. Go through school and not knowing where you would be today, right? None of
Mhm.
us knew that back in our high school days.
Nope.
But what was it like? What was Leisha's life like back then that you can clearly see now? Okay, I know this was a part of my purpose because of what
Right.
I saw back then or
Right.
went through back then.
And that's a really good question. So, when I was in high school, my goal was to become an accountant. That was my goal. So, that was a little different. My goal was to become an accountant. And I did that. I studied business and accounting for about almost 4 years of my college career. And so, it wasn't until my fourth year of college when I looked back and I really like looked back at my life and the things that I was involved in. And while I love business and I love accounting and I love numbers, everything else I did outside of business and accounting was working in the local high schools, tutoring the students in the community, helping those students out, bringing them on the campus, volunteering at different agencies. So all of my work outside of school or my education was around helping others. And that was interesting. So when I really took a look at that, while I love doing these things, it wasn't my passion. And so in that moment, and that was a very difficult um, pill to swallow, should I say, because here I am, fourth year in my college career, and I'm like, I'm not going to graduate with an accounting degree. It's not my passion. While I love to do it, it's not my passion. So God had gave me peace even in that, and understanding and reassurance that I got you. I got you. So that year I ended up switching my major to sociology. And the great thing is I didn't get extended too much. I was still able to graduate the year that I was supposed to because all of my I don't know, all of my other courses were surrounded in family and children's services or in sociology. So it worked out perfectly. Uh, and so with that, from that, got my undergrad in sociology, went on to get my master's in social work, and then again, just loving, working, helping people. That is my ministry, is the helps ministry, working and helping others. And so throughout the years after graduate school, working in family and children's services, working in the communities, working in partnership with the schools, um, in working with partnerships with the schools, I realized how much I loved being in the schools, working with the students, one to one, hands on. And so while at the time I was in a different county, I wasn't in my home area or my home setting, but I loved it. And one of the things that I prayed and asked, like, God, if I can go back home and offer these same services, and I know the high school that I went to, great high school, but um, it wasn't easy getting out of high school. It was a struggle. So if I can go back and help those who come from a similar background, I would love it. So being able to go back and have the opportunity to work for my home high school has been amazing. Love it, passionate about it, and that has really ignited that fire to wanting to continue that work, but doing it, going into my own area, like starting LEAP, has allowed me to be able to do it in the way that I want to. So the great thing is, working in the educational system, definitely great opportunity, grateful to God for that experience. But now He's allowed me to shift and move in a way that He has this field for me. And now I'm being able to offer the services to the students in the way that I'm passionate about, even more passionate about.
Wow. So powerful.
Yes.
And so like God to lead you down that pathway. And it's literally you walking out the name of your company, what your acronym stands for, living every day in our purpose. And
Mhm.
every day of your life, God has led you down that journey of purpose. And now you are teaching others, not just one person at a time, one family at a time, one generation at a time, how to live in their purpose every day.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so I want to segue or flow into LEAP, because LEAP is a very unique brand. I know firsthand because I have, and my partner, shout out to
Mhm.
Bright, we've had the honor of being the ones to help you really define the brand LEAP and showcase it to your audience and to the world, right? And so,
Mhm.
with it being a unique brand, it's purpose focused, right? It's a story that touches multi generations. Can you tell us what led you to create LEAP or found LEAP?
Prayer. So definitely prayer. Like, once God had given me the vision to be able to say, okay, I want you to be able to go out and start your own business. One of the things I prayed, and I'm like, Lord, okay, I hear you. Okay, but what are we going to do? What's the name? So just prayer and seeking God and asking. It was important for me, very important for me, not to just do things my way. Like, Lord, I thank you for this vision. I thank you for what you have given me. And I don't want it to be all about Leasha. Like, I want this to be what you have for me. So I'm asking prayer and asking God, okay, God, what will you have it to be? And one night, he said, and I was thinking of leap, but one light gave leap. And I'm like, okay, LEAP. Uh, and so, he gave me leap. And then the words that came along with it were living every day in our purpose, right? And so for that name, and that name speaks volumes to me. So I wanted the name. My prayer was that I want this to have meaning, not only to myself, but to others, right? Every day is not promised to any of us, right? And so it's important that we live every day in our purpose and our purpose for God. Lord, what do you have for me today? Not worried about yesterday. Yesterday happened. It's gone. We can't do anything about it. Tomorrow is not promised. So it serves as a reminder to me, and especially in being in this position as an entrepreneur, running a business, to live every day in your purpose. your purpose, my purpose that God has for us. So powerful, so important. Sometimes we can get so caught up in tomorrow and next year and it's just like, no, just right now. Just right now, because we don't know what's going to happen. And so I thank God for the name that He's given me. And so um, in it, it's an encouragement for myself. It's an encouragement for my students. It is an encouragement for the families that we work with to live every day in our purpose. Just be purposeful, asking God, seeking God. What will you have me to do on today?
Wow. Wow. Like that was just such a moment of impartation, like for us
Mm,
to just stop and
mhm.
really just ask God, like the old people used to sing, what shall I render unto the Lord? Like what
Mhm.
can I do for you today, God? What
Yes,
am I
today,
supposed
Lord.
to do to serve your people today, God?
Right.
Oh, that's so powerful.
Mm.
So, so powerful, so, so rich. Leisha, what did you envision LEAP becoming? How did you envision it impacting generations and families when
Mhm.
God gave you that vision? Like I know you're totally being led by Holy Spirit, right? And
Mhm.
so none of us know it all. Like we're still walking out his word today.
Right.
But what
Right.
did you see? What was the big picture that he gave you?
So, like you had mentioned earlier, it's serving families, serving students, one family at a time, making a difference. And so, for me, when I was in high school, I can say that I don't believe I was prepared for college. Not at all. I didn't have what I needed in terms of just the awareness, the importance of all 4 years, not just your junior and senior year, but all 4 years. And so, my hope in starting this business is that I can help others to be educated, to be informed, to be aware going to college and not even just going to college because sometimes yes going to college is amazing but we talk about sometimes this could be one of the biggest investments of your life. It could cost more than a home in some cases. And so oftentimes so often a lot of students that come from areas that I came from and backgrounds that I've came from in the public school system that I came from, we go into these situations unprepared. Yes, we are led in our heart, and I am so thankful to God for my family who have supported me. My parents have been amazing along the way. But if I could have been a little bit more prepared, I would have, been able to make better decisions, better choices in terms of, what schools to apply to, how important my GPA is, not just my senior year, but also my freshman, my sophomore, my junior, then my senior year, right? All of those things and how everything plays a role. So, what are we doing outside of school? um, what organizations, community opportunities, what are we engaging in? How are we spending our time? And so all of those things can prepare us for a better future or a better transition and being more aware of what it takes and what it entails to go to college. Students need to be aware and parents need to be aware as well, caregivers.
Exactly. And there are so many. I just want to stay here for a little bit because there are so many in the African American community, so many students who don't know where to begin.
Right.
Guidance counselors are far and few in between nowadays.
Mhm.
Teachers, it's hard for school districts, especially the public schools, to find teachers that want to live in their purpose, right? And lead students to live in their purpose. And
Mhm.
so with that, can we talk a little bit about the cultural impacts, the marginalization effects, and what the African American community and Hispanic communities have experienced in your years of working in the
Mhm.
educational industry, and how LEAP is an advocate and a solution for those
Mhm.
families and
Right,
communities?
absolutely. And I'll just start with this. The American School Counselor Association. recommends that a student to school counselor ratio of 250 to 1, right? And in the year of 2022 and 2023, the national average for student to school counselor ratio was 385 to 1. And we can imagine what that looks like in the public school system, especially in the inner city schools. That number might be even be higher. So when we think about, and again, not to discredit the work that the school counselors do, I think they are doing an amazing job. However, when we think about what the level of services that some students get in comparison to others, it's not equitable. It's not equitable. And our students are not giving the same amount of services. So with LEAP, um, my plan or my hope is to just to provide that additional support. Yes, um, we know that there is a need, and we know that we're lacking that. And the inner city schools are not the first persons to get the additional supports. And so with LEAP, I'm here to help families, assist families in this journey, in this process, working alongside of counselors. I'm not the guidance counselor, but we can do this together because it takes a village, right? And knowing where we fall and knowing that national average, we need help in our communities. And so for LEAP, we are here to help, to assist, to be that bridge, to continue to support our students in getting to where they want to go, their dreams, their aspirations, but doing this in additional service for them because we know those services are lacking in our inner city schools.
This episode is sponsored by FBTS. Hey, female founders and YouTube friends. In addition to serving as the host of the Brand Big podcast, I am also the founder of FBTS, an innovative branding and design agency. And so what we do is we humanize brands. And in humanizing brands, we empower female founders, startups, and corporations to authentically connect with their communities and increase their marketability. And so as my free gift to you, I want to offer you a 15-minute brand consultation where you and my team can sit together and discuss how we can help you do that very same thing. View today's show notes to learn how you can sign up for your 15-minute complimentary brand consultation. And now, let's get back to today's episode. Wow. So amazing and so unique in that it's serving those populations and all students, right? Every
Absolutely.
generation of students
Absolutely.
that is in the school system nowadays, and helping to prepare them for college and their purpose. And their
Absolutely.
purpose. So, Leasha, this has been so amazing. I feel like we could go on, especially talking about education. There's so many hot topics surrounding education right
Oh, yeah.
now, especially in the year we are in America. And so we'll have to continue this conversation on another
Absolutely.
episode. But I have been honored to have you, not just as a client, but as a sister and friend as well, joining us today on the Brand Big podcast. And so, Leasha, before I let you go, will you just speak to the female founder who has been in your shoes, giving her a word of encouragement? She may be working in the educational field now, or maybe she's an accountant, right? And feeling like I have more. There
Yes.
is more for me to do. And
Absolutely.
everything may look good on the outside, but on the inside, she know that there is a calling from God for her to build, that bold, innovative, and genuine brand. And so what word of encouragement would you give to her?
Trust God. Trust God. He will not lead you astray. Trust me. Never in a million years did I ever think about opening my own business, let alone my own consulting business. But God, He has carried me every step of the way. Pray, ask Him, trust what He gives you. Because sometimes we can doubt what he gives us, the vision that he gives us. Trust it, believe it, and all you have to do is take that first step, that first leap, and you only have to do it one step at a time, and watch God carry you the rest of the way. Watch him do it. Trust him and watch him work.
Amazing. Amazing. And so, female founders, YouTube viewers, our family, our friends of the Brand Big podcast, this has been such an amazing episode. Leasha, we're looking forward to seeing you soar and leap soar in the marketplace, even the more than you've already have, impacting more lives, more generations, more families. And so, Leasha, how can moms who are listening, other female founders who have their own businesses and it may not be in your field, but they have children and or they're connected to families and children or schools that may need the services you offer with Leap. How can they connect with you online, offline?
So I have a website, thanks to Jonatta. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a website, www.leapeducationconsultants.com. You can find me online on my website. I'm also on LinkedIn and on Facebook. Again, my name is Leasha Cherry. Check out the website, LinkedIn, or Facebook. You can find me.
Awesome. And we'll have all of those details for Leasha's connection points in our show notes today in the description. And so, again, thank you for joining us on the Brand Big podcast. We are super excited for this episode and the one to come. We have one more episode in this season. So stay tuned and we'll see y'all next time.